Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Grandpa Jay's Woodworks. Now there was one day that Grandma Jay and we went into the store and we happened to see these wooden blocks that look like gifts. And we were thinking, hey, I can make something like that. And so I did. And I'm going to show you guys how I did that. So I started off with these 4x4 blocks. I cut them down and I'm going to put on this black stain on it as a subcolor. We've allowed this to dry. We're going to add the white layer to it. I don't have any white stain, so I'm going to actually use white primer, but I'm going to put on a thin layer so that the black actually shows through. You just want to wipe it on, then just kind of wipe it off. You don't want it real heavy. You want it to kind of have that distressed look to it. That's why as I'm adding the white to it, I'm also wiping it off. Okay, so after I started first applying this, I felt like that there was too much black coming through and it was a bit too gray. Now, if you want to go for that really antique gray look, instead of doing it this way, you can get the aged gray or the, I believe it's called antique gray stain, and that'll give you that effect. But I want mine to be a bit on the more white side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to come back and possibly do another layer on top. Just make sure that it's not as thick, so I do still see some of that black coming through. I just want it to look a bit more white, kind of like snow. So we'll see after this is done. Hey there, welcome back. So I decided that I do want to keep it this color. I didn't actually add an additional coat of the white. And so now what we're going to do is that we're going to put the ribbons around the boxes here with a bow, some of this frosted greenery, and also some of this frosted pine cones with some holly on it. And what we're going to use is, I'm going to use hot glue gun to glue it on. So I've already pre-cut my ribbons to the lengths that I need for each of the blocks, and I also pre-made the bows. which they're not pretty. I'm not very good at making bows. Hopefully you guys are way better at it than I am. So let's get started on this. So we'll start with the small block here. Lay out the hot glue. Then we're going to take this first ribbon and we're going to lay it across here. Press it down so it adheres. And we're going to come over here to the other side. Going to go ahead and do the bottom too. And I'm making two little lines that will go on each side of the ribbon, because I tried this once before and it turned out that trying to just do one line was not working. Okay, come up to the top. All right, now we got our first ribbon on. Let's do the second one. Now if it makes it easier for you, go ahead and put the hot glue on the ribbon itself. That way you know exactly where it's going to lay. Okay, now we're going to take our ribbon and we're going to hot glue that on. Now we're going to take some of our greenery here. Just grab a small handful. I kind of cut these to varying lengths just to give it a little extra dimension. Adding some hot glue over the top of it, just for it to, so that they kind of stick together. And now since I already put some of that hot glue on there, we could add these. Now I'm tucking the stem underneath of the bows, just so that they're hidden a little bit. And there we have our first box. Let's do the next two. Ow, it's hot. Now, after rewatching this segment, I realized that I probably should have put the ribbons to where the open ends are on the bottom of the block instead of on the top. Now, I do believe the ribbon will actually hide it, or excuse me, the bow. I think the bow will hide the fact that there are folds on the ribbon. But if you want a cleaner look, go ahead and do it to where you're actually attaching the ends of the ribbon to the bottom of the box. Alright, well, they're not perfect, but they still look pretty good, and they'll make a great holiday display for Christmas. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time. Bye.